son aboard shortcut caper. Highway humming door to orange containers.
Today, I woke up, gathered the last of the stuff, and we loaded up the van and proceeded to hit the road at around noon. Pretty much pointed it due north, and 6 or 7 hours later wound up in Jackson Springs, Oregon. I think it's technically Jacksonville where we are. The Jackson Hot Springs. So far, we're on try hour number 10 or 11 of day 1 of leg number 3, heading off to do art show number 6 of this funny, almost a year-long tour.
With the jelly, blip, wipe the screen off, spaceball, gray walls, 8-track keyboard from Cletus with the Jesus hat, bad breath and teeth gone, couple missing fingers in a lap full of cheap porn, born on the 4th on a bayou near a boomtown.
I came from a cool city, the place where my mother raised me and my sister. It's like a very interesting small city in upstate New York, about 25 minutes north of Albany, where I was born. I hated it when I first moved there. And as a result, as a kid, I just remember getting my ass handed to me. As I got older and I really learned to kind of like the place to a point, I felt like it started to reward me in ways and like give me funny things back, like meeting new dudes and making new contacts and making new friends and seeing unusual parts of the city nobody would see and seeing it for its beauty. And I think part of that's skateboarding, you know? And I think coming to San Francisco, I was instantly attracted to the same sort of magic. It has that like capability for magic on any random day.
Good, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been?
So I dropped the van the other day.
Had fun?
Great.
My view of California was very skewed. It was kind of out of the backseat of my grandparents' station wagon when I was like a little kid. So to come back at like, 19 years old with the idea that I might be moving there. My dad and I got a place in Fisherman's Wharf, like a hotel room, and the Art Institute, which is the school I went out there to go to. San Francisco Art Institute's one of the oldest art schools in California, and it just seemed like the right thing to do, so me and my dad signed up for a shitload of loans, and off I went. And as of next month, I will have been there 16 years since that time that I came to check out the school, and it's not even close to wearing off. You know, like, I think about it all the time. Like, I travel quite a bit, so it's like you're constantly presented with new places where you're like, oh, this place is cool. These guys are doing it right. Like, look at these great studios. Like, and you think, why don't I move here? And then you just start thinking, nah. You know, like, because once you start comparing anywhere else in the world to it, for me, it's like, I don't know. I've yet to find anywhere that has the same sort of option for magic on an average day. Well, I think because I enjoy where I live, and last year I just spent an enormous amount of time there. I had one big project last year at a museum in Southern California, and it was a considerable undertaking given the amount of time I had from when I was told about the show until it opened. I wanted to create all new work for it around a certain theme, and I bit off a considerably labor-intense work plate for last year, and it just left me stuck in San Francisco almost the whole year. At the end of a year, though, when you look back at the fruits of your efforts and you kind of, not that I don't look at the body of paintings and see a great year's worth of work, it's just kind of like, you can only generate so much work in the course of a year, and how do you choose to spend it? You know, where do you put it? This year was an odd motivation, I think, as opposed to just wanting to show in cities I hadn't been to in a long time, or some that I'd never been to. A lot of it was, I wanted to travel like crazy. And I guess the roots of that whole travel thing has a lot to do with my grandfather. My father's father, Bud Marion Merton Fish, was a traveling salesman for Buck Knives back in the day, and had a traveling salesman lifestyle that accompanied his shenanigans. A salesman, you know, like a set of tools that I inherited that I don't use as much as I should, you know, like straight up Guy that'd make you buy a knife if you didn't have any hands to hold it. But yeah, tomorrow, I would say low expectations. We'll get in the gallery and open everything up, and then Rick will get in at like 10 or 11, I can't remember which. And we'll probably start right in.
Got in real late, only had 4 hours sleep the night before, worked until sunrise. That's how we always do it. My name is Rick Marr. I help out my friend Jeremy, making some art. Met him through skateboarding, just like somewhere, some point. Well, skateboarding related, he broke his ankle. I had to do some art, paint up the inside of a hotel room, and needed my help, and I helped him. But it went down really well. So, I don't know, after that, I just keep showing up. Here I am yet again. Always an original character, still an original character. Puts it into his art now. We have such a good time where I'm like literally laughing so hard I'm crying. Painting murals, hanging shit, bedazzling the town. We don't always hang out. I got a day job and shit, but man, yeah, they go down pretty well. They're always fun.
It's nothing I ever dreamed of doing. It's not like something I expected from being able to draw a little bit and working on it and trying to be better at something like that. Like, I just didn't ever see it giving me a third of what I've gotten out of it. And that is why you have to bust your hump. You owe it something to keep it going. You need to water the plants if they're gonna grow. Making people happy. Knowing that you spend your time in life to do something that like generally doesn't bum very many people out. I want these people that believe in me to know, like, I'm really fucking working on it, 100%. It's the most important thing in my life. And as a result, it's cost me a lot of personal relationships, and I don't know, it gets in the way a lot. Like, I let it rule my life, and I don't live much of a normal personal life, I think, sometimes as a result. I think it's so important to me to run with this while I'm young and have the energy that I've let it deter me from otherwise having like a normal life. And by normal life, I mean like normal social life, normal free time, normal relationships with your family. And, you know, a lot of that's avoidable. I could schedule my time differently, but this is what I want to do with my time. This is how I want to live my life. And these are the things I want to accomplish before I'm too old to not do them anymore. And as a result, I've cut myself short in a lot of, like, I don't know. I lived, and at the same time, maybe I didn't.
It's been crazy. It's been great. Jeremy's got a lot of fans here. His artwork is so amazing, and Portland, I think, really connects to it. It's been super busy since the moment we dropped the curtain. It's been awesome.
He kind of brings his own crowd, his own interests to town. He enjoys Portland, and he's approachable. I mean, he's sitting in his van out there. You know, you can walk right up and chat with him, and it's low key. It's different.
I wanted to get his bunnies tattooed on my back, and so I sent him a letter type thing, asking him if it would be okay, because I also draw, so I wanted his permission, something that I can relate to on like a personal level, so being able to interact with him also is nice. But it was good. It was very nice. I got a hug.
He's a warm and fuzzy guy. I don't know what it is about him. You know, he's just got this energy that I think people, they like to talk to him. You know, he's a fun guy to listen to. He's got stories that back up his art. You know, I mean, you ask Jeremy a question, and it's like you get an answer. You know, and it's not one of his long drawn out answers. It's like a story that you want to hear. You know, it's like within 15 minutes, you're just like, whoa.
The show's great. I like the unique Portland mural that he's doing, and I've peeked at the Seattle sketch that he did, and they're both just awesome. It's awesome that he's traveling around and also doing a lot of like affordable prints so that the average person who can't afford to buy one of Jeremy's nice pieces can buy a really, really good print that, you know, it's some of the best work I've seen him put out in a long time. So the prints are awesome and they're super affordable. It's good stuff.
Well, Seattle's next. Fucking going to Seattle, kick some ass, some of the fucking Jimi Hendrix, Bruce Lee shit.
How many miles can you put on one soul before the smile starts to blend into one big bullet hole? Through it as a unit with the best of my crew, pumping melodies and memories too. My head's killing me, ooh, stomach empty, my bladder is full. 2-year-old son on Jaybird phone crying, you missing me, and I'm starving. I'll bite your arm off.
We are currently, I'd say, about halfway between Portland and Seattle on the 5 North. Beautiful summer day. 1976 Dodge van in top form. Portland showed mega love. And that was exactly why I went on this trip. I wanted to go to these cities where I know there's interest in cool galleries and, more importantly, places I actually like to go. And I feel like we did a really badass balance of 60-40 work and party. We did some sightseeing, we ingested a couple of beers, we saw a couple of breasts. It was all within the confines of what I would consider to be the 60-40 balance of work to party on these road trips, and Portland is accommodating in both aspects. I feel like the work side of it, we were clean, trim, and professional. Rick and I are at this stage in our deal are a well-oiled team. And I don't mean well-oiled in the sense that there's any wrestling or anything. Like, it's just, everything works smooth as hell, little communication. He hangs the show, I paint the mural, he helps me with the mural when he's not hanging the show, and we knocked that shit out in 3 nights, and I'm hoping in Seattle we can do it in 2.
Currently, we are in Pioneer Square, downtown Seattle, Washington, in a beautiful 100-year-old art space. I have to say that in all of this tour that I've been on this year and all the little shows I put on, this was definitely the funnest. No offense to any of the other spaces, they were all fun, but such a cool place we landed here. Seattle started off kind of weird. We came in off a real high, like Portland had just been awesome to us, like really good times, super good people. Then we got here and it just wasn't sunny days, you know, like our level of rage wore us down to a nub, and I literally spent most of the days sleeping later than I have in months and just feeling like a dead man. There's a wonderful, wonderful woman here in Seattle who works for Upper Playground and organizes their gallery. Her name's Jen, and she put us in a historic, rad downtown part of the city that was just like exactly what I'd look for everywhere we went. Even if it wasn't where I was working, like I went and tried to find these little nooks. Pioneer Square is dope. And when you have to kind of cruise around and figure something out on the fly and like, okay, I got like 3 nights, X amount of space, how big can I make it, what am I gonna do? And where you do it has so much to do with it. I mean, honestly, in the same situation before, we've done it. We've like asked the hotel if they had a conference room.
It's crazy, just being connected to this building just makes everything, every part of it so much nicer.
It just has such a nice energy, and like the way it smells and the creaky floors, and just like, from the minute we came in that night, I was like,
the strangest
it's gonna get better.
There was a fire here a really long time ago, so I had a studio up on the 5th floor a couple years ago, and it always smelled like a fire.
To do 5 paintings this size within a couple of days in each city based on the city and all that jazz, it's like, I don't know, I'm happy. And I think I'm ending on a high note. Like, this was definitely the best one.
Yeah, the mural went down pretty fast. I played a smaller role than I usually do when I paint a mural. But I also hung the show in record time.
It's the old recipe combined with like the new technique, you know? Like the dude I started doing these kind of larger mural stuff with, that started it, you know? I got comfortable with having somebody do stuff with me, because up until that time, I mean, you don't think about art as a team sport. But then at some point, once your friend helps you, you like realize you can actually do something twice as fast, twice as big, and have a fucking shitload of fun while you're doing it. It's funny how recipes get built to like change the direction of your art, you know? Like that came out of necessity and like friendship. And actually none of that ever would have come about kind of if it wasn't for the hotel room.
I don't do it because I want to be an art assistant. I just do it because it just happened with me and Fish, and we've known each other for 2 decades. It's just about the journey. Like, I hang out with him, and yeah, we get shit done, but really we're just, you know, we're palling around. We're having good times, you know?
Relaxed, easy going, you know, sort of like, it's like you go over to your grandpa's house, you know, and you're just gonna relax, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna hear some old stories. And I think that's what Jeremy's about. He wants to relay some of the information that he's seen himself and people have passed on to him.
It's about like making people happy in places where you want to go. Like, I want to come here. I want to enjoy Seattle. I want to enjoy Portland. I want to enjoy Austin. And I did. And this is a really satisfying way to direct your path. Like, follow your own goals and your own intentions to have a good time and a good life and make friends. And also, you know, take what you're doing for a living and the stuff you want to share with people along the way and dump it out, see what they think. A good buddy of ours that lives here, we're going to take us on a tour of all things rad in Seattle, hit the town with those guys, see some sights, eat something nice. Since I was a young man, I came here with my dad when I was like a teenager, and we went straight to the Pike Street Market, straight into the fried fish, fried salmon. And beyond that, like I said, I gotta hit the water. I gotta get on a boat and go out and like cruise around. That's been like a constant theme. Who knows? I have no idea, but I'm just really psyched at this point in my life that this is how I actually get around and what I do with my days, and am able to involve my friends and live a good life, making people happy. And it's enough to put you to bed. I learned that the thing about my job that I value the most is the magic that it creates, the crazy circumstance and song and dance. And like it's a funny, odd recipe to deal with the world, and you have to, I don't know, make the best of the time you have. Do some living. Because the next thing you know, you'll be old and boring. There were all those things you could have been doing. You watched a couple seasons of some stupid TV show. I don't know. I'm not real that. I just want to make sure that at this point in my life, I'm doing everything I can to just get out and live, you know? There's no science to it, man. It's like rolling the dice. And I still enjoy the thrill of rolling the dice, I guess. It seems like it was only yesterday. Unfortunately, it was probably 4 weeks ago that we got back. Came home and cranked out a handful of paintings and been cranking out some T-shirts and, you know, back to business. But there's no place like home, man. Dorothy wasn't tripping when she laid that quote out there. It's like, nothing reaffirms who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it than like going away for almost a year and coming back to your weird ass cave and just knowing you did the right thing. Just the tail of the road bear, just a bunch of dudes out there cruising around in a van, fucking off, trying not to get old.